So the other night, Ventura County Sheriff started their campaign of uh, harassment, incarceration, fucking me over just for the fuck of it. We went to dinner at Denny's. And we were driving out of there, and a cop that had spotted me, I saw them turn their heads and look at me and recognize me. Uh, After we got out, they pulled into the driveway. When we went by, they flipped the UE. It was a bunch of weird stuff, but they ended up, because I had a piece of a rear light broken, they arrested me and Trace. No, just me, actually. And, you know, this is 2 days before Christmas, and I had done nothing, and I stayed cool. I was whatever. Love me, hate me, just don't ignore me. That's the whole deal right there. Cops, they need to be known. Anyway, and so, there's all kinds of shit going on, but my cracked tail light lens, and they just use it as an excuse to violate all kinds of rights and tear everything up and throw us. They just nowadays the new method is they just say, "Oh, you're under the influence." So if you are on probation or off probation, doesn't matter. You're detained now. You're going to jail because you're not ever going to be detained in Ventura County and not go to jail. Believe that. Um, it's just so, and this thing with the camps and everybody, they're whipping up this mob collective, the villagers chasing Frankenstein thing, whipping up the froth. And people are just unreasonable. Not only, not for one thing, they're lumping in. This is a deliberately created demographic. They're lumping in everybody that doesn't have a roof over their head as homeless. And that's not really how it is. And for one thing, it doesn't really matter. This country, the way what it is now, was built by a legion of homeless people coming from Europe and basically going, fuck all the dumb shit, I want out. And they did. And then there was, all the story. Who knows? Who knows? I'm not believing a lot of it. But the point is that I don't have even a problem with letting people come here, not by the droves, but a metered stream. But this is also not a growing economy. This is not it's not the time. And nobody's actually doing, so it turns out there's a bunch of fucking people of all kinds running around just hassling, fucking killing women, doing stupid shit. I'm half white, half Mexican, fucking, probably more cultured than most of them. But I've been known to do some stupid shit, and if people do that bad or more, then it's dangerous. What do they think they're going to do by agitating this situation to extreme results? Locking up people, sections of society. So now we're not even fucking racist. We're just classist. And the shit rolls downhill. So dude at the bottom gets fucking curveball. And I mean, we're citizens, born and raised, that old, disabled. None of it matters at all. And here, more than most, as with everywhere we go, they do not let us have the time to establish a routine in order to get off the street. We would love to. Also, I'm not about to have some fucking 20-year-old social worker that just barely graduated out of community college telling me how to live life. If they know something that I know I need to know and I don't, I'm more than glad to exploit their resources. But they're not going to be the final people to tell me how to live. If I feel like living indoors, I'll find a way, as we are. If I feel like living outdoors, I'll just do it. As an American, I guess what everybody has seemingly forgotten is we have constitutional law. There's boundaries. Now there's none. I don't give a fuck what job you have. If you let someone do it entirely their own way, it's going to fail. And what we've done with different groups throughout history, according to history, but even if it's a made-up history, then how could it be a good thing when it's showing the violation of real ethics anywhere else? Like, what about Trail of Tears? And what about every fucking tribe in America? And, oh man, who knows what other, and across the whole world, basically. We've just imposed this governmental image on everybody. You will do what I say. And that's why we portray Russia and China and everybody's a bad guy. But we have more incarcerated than all those people. So what does that tell you? I don't know. I feel stupid at times. I feel like I was like, there's a part of you that already knew this. Here's the point of why people should care. Because if you start with the easy pickings, low-hanging fruit, well, of course it seems like there's radical changes going on. But once that little cellular barrier is gone, then you gotta deal with real people that got shit and are smart and know stuff. As they climb the ladder, the government or the globalists are gonna find more difficulty. But the bottom part is kind of sludge right now. And that's not even the fault of anybody that's in it. This is an environment you created. How does anybody think they're supposed to afford to live in California when the cost of everything is just steadily climbing? There's been no decrease. And your wages stay nearly frozen for the year. I mean, you might get a raise here or there, but even in the best case scenarios, people, unless they're doing like sales and they get a big account or who knows, but aside from that, sales and stockbrokers and all this shit and an arbitrary, this is all man-made, constructed agreements between fucking this balloon, like gaseous balloon economy that we've had it's all like everything or bust. We're gonna just we're the ultimate consumers. We're the ultimate. We got to know everything, and I dig that about America. We're great at all kinds of different shit because we were this big conglomeration. The feds didn't really. They were weird, but nowadays, fuck. That's and Trump. So he's going to have Americans locked up for being poor for what? In life? Could you sentence a homeless person to death for being poor? Really? I go on and on about like failings and stuff. But the thing is that I'm aware of my faults and my failings, and I don't dig it, but if you force me to recite them, I'll tell you. But America is oblivious to its fucking ignorance of a subject. People will not even take a couple of minutes out of their day to find out if what they're saying is true at all. They just don't fucking care. Okay, well, it's not true. And it's just like lazy intellectual shit. Except this is what, sways public opinion, because you get 9 million of these morons that are just fucking mouth-breathing idiots, and they're duh. And you get them all leading in the same direction, they're going to knock the door down. You know what I mean? So that's the deal. Someone needs to get that big fat mass and push it the other way. Because Americans shouldn't be fucking with Americans. We have plenty of enemies across the world. Believe that. And almost all of these wars, even though they would like to throw them off, Ukraine, Russia, Gaza, Jew, whatever, all these different conflicts, almost every one of them is about the liberal democracy meddling that we've tried to impose on countries where it wouldn't work in 1,000 years, even if they tried, because it just doesn't have the same. We have a particularly unique economy of everything. There's very few things, actually, that are exclusive outside of America, if we don't have versions of them. And we have the best at most everything. Why everybody's so dissatisfied? If it's such a great economy and there's all these. But here's the other thing. With automation and AI, how many of you people think you're going to keep your fucking jobs in 10 years? Really? So let's face it, you're going to have a large portion of the population. They're not going to have a check. And, really, in the big picture, it would be so much cooler if you just let them die off instead of going through and killing them. But who do I fucking know? I just know that I'm the kid that lives in the house. We just busted out the birthday cake. Mom gave out slices to everybody else in the neighborhood, and I got burnt. That's what I know. So, of course, I'm agitated and angry. We are terrified at the prospects of what's... And this is picking on the people that are fucking just literally all their time is spent trying to survive. I can't stand most of them. I hate them. But they're still Americans. And this is the thing about America. You're allowed to hate anyone you want, but they're still your fucking fellow countrymen. You got to stick up for them. That's what it is. We need to change. And even if it costs people something, were things in World War II or whatever? So for a time, everybody has to cinch their belt. Well, we should do this psychologically. We need to get out of this us or them better than killer mentality. And we need to get into a more agrarian type of diplomatic relations with our world and neighbors around. We need to take the mean-spirited bent out of it. I have been a very violent person in my life. I have wreaked a lot of damage. But I know from the macro to the micro that everybody needs to turn their perspective around and stop looking at things in terms of everything's a conflict. It could just be, all you got to do is communicate okay? And then it's just a smooth thing where everybody's happy. It doesn't need to be a battle where you just fucking take everybody's shit, whatever you want, without them, because then you guys, then it's never ending. And once you start that conflict, it doesn't end. So from Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel, somewhere in the mythological past, one brother killed the other. And that's where we're at with things. We've come full circle again for who knows how many times. And like an iteration, we're back to almost before square one. That's what it seems like. Joe Rogan and all you guys, hey, remember me? But everybody's all pontificating on blah, 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 and proselytizing about how well, but if you talk about these things in numbers, like Graham and everybody's done, and I start listening and I go, well, seems like we are right on the knob of the crankshaft, pushing the piston up. We're fucking on the point of recycling again. Oh, what's happening? So I don't know what's going on. It's either a bunch of fucking assholes or it's some kind of dark fucking universe distorting power of the yin and yang with teeth. Who knows? But because we're old, because I love Tracy, we've been together forever, and I don't, it's probably just selfish on my part, but I don't care. I don't want anybody hurting her. And I'm not sure I can protect her at this point because, what are we talking about? These are fucking psychotic people they're already giving me the shit, the crazy blues over stupid shit. But now they're going to have full, no consequence authority. That's different. Anyway, still fighting the good fight. I might be a fucking asshole, but it doesn't mean I'm wrong. And on Christmas, honestly, I wish everyone a Merry Christmas, and I hope things go better and well for anybody that's watching this. Doesn't matter. I just would want to appeal to anybody. Think before you act. Peace.